Hotep family,
Hotep,
and welcome to the 48th annual African Liberation Day celebration here in Detroit.
all right.
We've been doing this for 48 years. My name is Elder Balagoon, Brother Mike Anderson, and I'm going to perform libations. So let us begin on the continent where all life on this planet started. We start by calling the name of Ta'i, Queen of Kemet, and we say, we call the name Imhotep, the world's first known genius, and we say, we call the name Ya Santawa, warrior queen of the Asante Empire, and we say, we call the name Nefertiri, Nubian queen of Egypt, and we say, we call the name of Osei Tutu, founder of the first kingdom of the Asante nation, and we say, we call the name of Makeda, Queen of Sheba, the symbol of beauty, and we say, we call the name of Hannibal, the warrior ruler of Carthage, and we say, to all of the ancient kings and queens and builders of civilization of Africa, we say, to those that planted the seeds and harvested the crops, we say. Now for the modern day African ancestors who fought for the liberation of Africa, such as Patrice Lumumba, we say. For Kwame Nkrumah, we say. For Jomo Kenyatta, we say. For Julius Nyerere, we say. For Nelson Mandela, we say. To all of their ancestors who fought and died for the liberation of Africa, we say. Now coming to these shores, Malcolm said it best, and his story is called The Middle Passage, and our story is the Miafa. During that time, 50 to 20% of those who were chained were some of the millions upon millions of Africans that lost their lives due to sickness, suicide, rebellion, and outright murder. To those ancestors who lost their lives in the Miafa, we say, but once reaching these shores, our struggle did not stop. There were those that revolted against our chains. To Gabriel Apostle, we say, Denmark Vesey, we say, Nat Turner, we say, Harriet Tubman, we say, to all of our ancestors that gave their lives to slave revolts, we say. Now for modern days, for those who continue to struggle for our liberation, we say, we call the name of Rosa Parks, and we say, we call the name Elijah Muhammad, and we say, we call the name of Martin Luther King, and we say, we call the name of Fred Hampton Sr., and we say, we call the name of Huey P. Newton, and we say, we call the name of Dr. Isaka Musa Barashango, and we say, we call the name of Mari Baraka, and we say, we call the name of Dr. Asa Hilliard, and we say, we call the name of Queen Mother Moore, and we say, we call the name of El-Hajj Malik Shabazz, and we say. Now, for those of you who don't know, Detroit is a very special place.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Detroit has been the center of the universe, the Mecca for African liberation and Pan-Africanism on this continent. Here was the beginning of the UNIA, the Shrine of the Black Madonna, the Nation of Islam, the Republic of New Africa, and many other organizations who were African-centered and fought for the struggle and the liberation of black people. So for those special Detroiters, we call the name Coleman Alexander Young, and we say, we call the name of Papa Wells, and we say, we call the name of Queen Mother Aisha Collier, we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name King Suanta Kita, we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name Mario Badeli, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Gaidio Badeli, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Brother Charles Kelly, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Jeramogi Ajiman, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Kwame Kenyatta, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Sam Riley, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Elder Bomani Effinger, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Brother James Booker, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Elder Amin Ra Maru, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Brother Beeman, known as the Ghetto Soldier, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Angelo B. Henderson, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Chukwe Lumumba, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Aretha Franklin, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Damon Keats, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Ronald Hewitt, Cardinal Karamoja, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Brother Bill Howard, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Brother Kojo, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Douglas Diggs, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Brother Kofi Boyle, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Kwame Kenyatta, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Dr. Calvin Trent, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Elder John Beverly Sr., and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Sister Jude Ware, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Alvin Hogan, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Brother Owusu, Millard Porter, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name Billy Napoleon, and we say.
Yes, sir.
We call the name of Baye Landy, and we say.
Yes, sir.
And to all of those Detroiters who gave their lives to the struggle for our liberation, we say.
Yes, sir.
Now we know this past year has been most atrocious and taken a lot of our brothers and sisters away from us. To all of our brothers and sisters who lost their lives due to the COVID, we say.
Yes, sir.
Now, as I may have mentioned, this is for those who came before us. We know that there will be those that come after us. But each of you has your own ancestor. So I want you to call their names. Inside. 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 To all of our personal ancestors, we say. Now, just like there were those that came before us, there will be those that come after us. So for the ancestors yet unborn, we say. Inside. 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 All right. Sante Tata.
Peace, y'all.
Peace, everybody.
Welcome to African Liberation Day 2021.
I'm Mama Yo, Yolanda Jack.
I'm Baba Greg, or G Mac, and we are your hosts for this year's virtual African Liberation Day celebration.
That's right.
So I'm going to ask you at home to make some noise for the theme this year of Get Free or Die Trying. As always, our theme all year long is liberation through education.
That's right.
And we have a sub-theme of food, clothing, and shelter.
That's right.
Mama, Yo, why don't you tell them a little bit about what they can expect?
Today you're going to see a presentation that will talk to you exactly about what our theme and our sub-theme is. Get free or die trying, and we're thinking about it through the themes of housing, clothing, and how we feed in our bodies and our minds. We're not just feeding ourselves physically, but we feed ourselves mentally as well. So we're going to see presentations, things that stimulate your body, things that stimulate your appetite, as well as opportunities to think about what you can do to get yourself thinking about getting free or dying trying.
All right, y'all, so stay tuned. This is a Power Pack program. Do not fast forward through it. Watch every minute so that you won't miss nothing.
That's right.
That's right.
We'll see you soon.
All right, African. All right, all right, all right, all right.
And so that in order for us to understand and put into context why we're here, what we're doing here, and the history of the work that has been done here in the city of Detroit, we're going to bring to you one of the strong founders of the African Liberation Day Committee, the people who are holding the standard bearers, as we say in our community. Help me bring to the screen to you, Brother Paul Taylor.
All right, Brother Paul, BT.
I want to give a thank you, I do, for those of us who are part of the African Liberation Day Committee right here in the city of Detroit.
That's right.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
The city of Detroit has given so much to the history and the culture of our people.
Yes, we are.
We have come to conclude, and we believe it, yes we do, that we are an African people, and we will always be an African people.
Yes, we will.
Until Africa is free, none of us are free.
Talk, brother.
Until the world we live in right here in our city of Detroit is free, none of us are free. And it's in that spirit that we celebrating, yes we do, what we call the African Liberation Day. Because we're African and we know it, and guess what? We ain't ashamed to show it.
Come on now.
We're black and proud. We can say it loud. Say I'm black and I'm proud.
I'm black and I'm proud.
I can't hear you. Say I'm black and I'm proud.
I'm black and I'm proud.
Say it one more time. I'm black and I'm proud. Give yourself a hand. We're black and we're proud. And ain't ashamed about it in no special way. You know, when we go back in our history, and I wish I was the historian that our brother just got up before me, just he handed on down, and we love him and appreciate him for that.
That's right.
So he has this internal, yes he has, information and history, and he gives it to us on a regular basis.
Yes, he does.
I'm going to read mine off of a little piece of paper that I got here,
Come on.
and I need and want you to help me in that regard. You know, again, we're African people, first people of the world.
Yes, we
There
are.
was no people before African people.
That's right.
We are the African people of the world.
That's right. That's not fiction. That's not fake.
That ain't fact or fiction.
That's right.
In our honor, in our history, we gave, yes we did, a chance for folks to come on in and learn what true history is all about. We let folks come on to the mother continent. Yes we did. We welcome them to come over. Join us. Let us teach you. Let us show you what's going on. Had we no recognition that these white Europeans would take our love and respect for ourselves and trying to give them some wisdom and knowledge, that they could come and overcome us, take us, enslave us, keep us under some, what they think is their leadership. But we know better than that. We, again, the first people of the world. And if it was about leadership, guess what? We're the leaders.
That's right.
Because we were the first people here. Their enslavement to us and on us has been a blow to us down through the years. But we are still fighting and gonna keep fighting
Yes, we
for
are.
our freedom.
That's right.
We go back to Kwame Nkrumah, who, in fighting for Ghana and his freedom, he understood the need way back in the 1960s that we need to have our own relationship and honor of each other. And that's why he created the OAU,
That's right.
for us to come together and celebrate our history and our culture, and to unite the Africans from around the continent. We don't want it to be thought that we're Africans over there, and Africans over there, and Africans over here. We are all African people.
Yes, we
And
are.
if we come together, there's nothing that we can't do. There's nothing that we can't accomplish.
That's right.
So in so doing, in creating OAU, he went around the continent and told other African leaders that we need to stay together. We need to work together. We need to be together. We need to now forget from whence we've come. And it's that kind of thing that we now celebrate here, and he did that in May of '63. Now, we have declared that in May, and I may have that day wrong, but in May, we have started African Liberation Day.
That's right.
Yes, we did. Created, started on the continent of Africa, came here to this country, and we've been practicing it and honoring it and paying homage to it ever since.
That's right.
Because again, we are an African people. Where the Africans at?
Right here.
Where the
Right here,
Africans
brother.
at? Make sure we got some Africans in the house.
That's right.
And we certainly do, because yes, we are an African people. The brother understood the need to organize, organize, and organize, and it's in that spirit, again, we say, we organize African Liberation Day. And year after year, we have been doing that here in the city of Detroit on a regular basis. We started doing it many years ago. Oh yes, we did. Many years ago. Initially, many years ago. We started initially way back over, where was we? Over on Grand River. Anybody remember on Grand River?
I do, brother. I was there, brother.
Was we there?
Yes, we were. What year?
What year was that? Was that 65 or 66? What was that?
66, bro.
66? When we first started. Yes, we did. We had a conference, if you want to call it that, of togetherness over on Grand River. Can't forget about it. We can't forget about Kwame Yatta.
That's right.
And others such as that, who organized us to come together and not forget our culture and our history. We got a chance to come in unity. Remember the early walks when we started walking. I remember a walk where we walked down Dexter Avenue.
Yes, we did.
Y'all know what I'm talking about? Some of y'all don't know about that. Some of y'all don't know about that. We walked from Dexter and Davidson, y'all. Oh yes, we did. We walked all the way from Dexter and Davidson to Northwestern High School on Dexter and West Grand Boulevard. Anybody got any kind of idea how much a walk that is? Oh yeah, we took a walk, boy, but we took a walk for freedom. We took a walk for liberation. We took a walk for our people around the country and certainly around the world.
Right.
Particularly around the African community that we all represent.
Right.
We had major events there. I can't forget those events where we had speakers and edutainment, not entertainment, edutainment at those events. And we walked, yes we did, and we were glad about it.
Yes, we
We
were.
felt good about it.
Yes, we did.
We walked strong about it.
Yes, we did.
We were so glad that we could be in unity,
That's right.
in togetherness,
That's right.
and again, lifting up our history and our culture as African people. Because I say it and I'll say it all over again, we are an African people, and we ain't ashamed to show it, and we certainly say we know it.
That's right.
So it's in that spirit that we created this whole idea of African Liberation Day. Year after year, we had that march going down Dexter, and it carried on for many years. Years passed, those who organized it and had it going on, and we praised their names, we were glad to be a part of it. They got to a place, they did, that they thought maybe we've done enough of that, so let's kind of let that be.
We're going to bring you right now an opportunity to lift every voice and sing with the beautiful musical performance of Baba Malik playing for you the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. Keep it rolling. The energy is hot, but we about to make it hotter. We gonna bring some young performers to you. Al Noor Dance Company.
All right,
Bring it to the stage. Ow!
Oh, bring that light on. Bring that light on.
What's up, everybody? It is Al Noor African Dance Drum and Drama Troupe, and today we're going to be doing a couple selections for you guys. And don't forget, today is African Liberation Day, so power to the people.
Southern trees bear a strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root, black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees.
I gotta carry him. Yeah, I'ma go into this. Yeah, this is gorilla. Yeah, I'ma go get the bag. Yeah, oh, I'ma get the bag. Yeah, I'm so cold like yeah, I'm so cold like we go blood like
I was taught in American history books that Africa had no history, and neither did I. That I was a savage. I think the less said the better. Who had been saved by Europe and brought to America. And of course, I believed it. I didn't have much choice. And I go out for DC3 and no more feelers deep. I gave him chance again. I even told the police. I find it crazy the police and shoot you ain't know that you there, but you tell you the thing. I see what I see. I guess they mean hold him down when he say he can't breathe. There's too many mothers screaming for no reason. They go out for too long to get easy. Like dogs and hyenas. I was just pissing. My money was good and my mama was crazy. They said I can't leave. First I was tough, but I told her quick when I heard how they signed it. Yes, I leave. He got a license plus. But there's some positive and riding in. They gon' blame us. You like that fire with fire. I know where these people start the flames from. Oh man, I agree.
It's a state of emergency. It's been a hell of a year. Hell for over 400 years. My people, it's time we stand. It's time we demand the freedom that this land promises. President Biden, we demand justice, equity, policy, and everything else that freedom encompasses. And to accomplish this, we don't need allies. We need accomplices. It's bigger than black and white. This is not a trend. This is our plan. Until freedom. Until freedom. Until freedom!
There is no African-centered event, no African-centered community activity that does not acknowledge our ancestors, but also the elders of our community. And all those people who have been taken away from us during this most terrible year of COVID and all of the loss that we have experienced, we're going to take an opportunity to remember and acknowledge and lift up those men and women who have meant to us so much, who have blessed us with their love, with their knowledge, with their wisdom, with their energy. And we wish them to be resting in power and resting in peace as we think about them at this moment.
That's what we got. dedicate our life in everything that we say and do. And so we'll never give up the fight. The Mother Moore and Malcolm and Harriet will stay true to the why. From all the trinkets they put in our faith, we must be built a new black nation and save our babies from this God-forsaken place. To this we dedicate our life in everything that we say and do. And so we'll never give up the fight. The Mother Moore and Malcolm and Harriet will stay true to the why. Fannie Lou Hamer, my Marcus Garvey, anyone name me too, yeah. Malcolm X, oh my wallet. Betty Sibba. Turn y'all. Wing and zinger. Talking about my grandmama, my grandmother, and your grandpa. Can't you feel them calling you? Better than this. Better than this. Young preteen, see things, hear things. Soundtrack of life got them snatching out her earrings. It's piercing, the sound of the tears stings the ground of the elder lady porch while she prayed to the Lord for this here thing to be better than this. Medicine-less in the midst of the sick and sickness, burning out how short the wick is. And so the darkness is just a byproduct of this. Byproduct and just consume from every angle possible. The booby traps is locking you in every tangled obstacle. And room to breathe is now a luxury. You live right where your truck should be, so it was forced to up and leave. Too soon. Imagine the status quo. Clean blocks and families grow healthy and strong. Rid of the dope, slimy salmon and promote. And I ain't talking about the coke, but I'm talking about the cola, Motorola, isotona, iPhone, I wanna, gotta have. I take all that I can grab in the barrel of the crabs, trying to find my habitat. I am black, I am that which is hunted. I am wanted, I'm manipulated into hatred. So if I confront it, any one of you that look like me, it was just my misery, proximity, and plus all of the chemicals been giving me. At the core, different me is surfacing and fixing me. The manifest was meant for me. This going down in history.
Yet right here in our own front yard, there's a neglected market. There's money waiting to be spent. To be able to tell you the secret of selling the Negro, we did a lot of digging. We talked to leading businessmen and the salesmen. We went to Washington, D.C. We set up cameras and other key points around the nation.
Lab rats synonymous, implications ominous. Like cold, like gold, colonizers mining us. Identify, classify, rock to sleep, pacify, assassinate, elevate, remote control the masses. Why? This has been the power dynamic since the introduction. Oops, I meant the interruption. Troops are sent to soul destruction. Spanish early 1400s ripped us from the bosom and the cradle simultaneous. Only thing remaining is the part of us that matters most, connected to our cosmos. Melanin, some skin types burn up, but ours toast. For oppression to be possible, had to be lies told. Surface level truth and proof that come and go, but ours old. Original, indigeny, family from the pygmy tree, the Twa from antiquity. Mama, black ubiquity, we warriors through history. We fight and get the victory. Now let's point aggression at the legitimate enemy.
The secret of selling to the Negro is expressed in one word: recognition. Perhaps because he's had so little of it, the Negro needs even more. He needs to feel important and appreciated. This need is a very real and important. It shows up even in many of the Negro's shopping habits.
We not each other's enemy, despite how hard you grimming me. Could easily be your friend to me, or maybe even kidding me. See what's really offending me, we better than this. Viciousness, dividedness, we settling with. The ghetto exists, the warehouse, the labor, and keep the thought of rebelling against the system and saviors. It's a paradigm for domination of population, the power in the people, regardless of occupation. Everything was equal, it's enough to go around the globe for everybody to have land, food, shelter, and clothes. But it's not. The greed of the elite at the proverbial top want it all, so they take what we got, including brotherhood, naming streets after they peach. Nah, brothers is strangers from another hood. Danger, cover good your anger. Watch where you aim. Critical thinking is overdue, and war is the game.
We know that the Negro buys by brand.
Better than this.
And he buys the brands that he knows something about.
Better than this.
In the spirit of food, clothing, and shelter, we take control of how we feed ourselves when we do urban agriculture. To show you all how to get involved with that, we got Sherry Smith with a special presentation coming up next.
So we're here with the Freedom Village Garden Initiative, and today we're going to be talking about starting your gardens at home, because one of the only ways we can get free and be self-determined is to be able to control our own food. And one way we can control that food is by growing it ourselves. So we're out here today. We have a 4x4 raised bed here with some soil. And we're gonna talk about a couple different ways that you can plant. But I'm gonna show you guys some basics of planting and then go over a couple things that you definitely wanna make sure you know when you're getting ready to start your garden. There's a few ways that you can buy plants for your garden so that you guys understand the difference. One way is seeds. You can buy seeds at your local farm stand. You can buy them at farmers markets or garden centers. And seeds are dried, so you're normally going to want to put them in soil and keep them moist. These are sunflower seeds. You might be able to zoom in later. But so seeds are smaller, and usually they're going to take you a little bit longer to get a plant and to get something out of it. So seeds is one of the ways you can grow. I'm just going to leave these on the surface. Another thing you can buy is transplants. Transplants are like baby plants. So they've taken them, they've planted the seed for you, allowed it to grow to where it's big enough, and then you buy these, and then you're just going to take these and stick them in the ground. So you can buy your seeds, your transplants. Some vegetables don't come as seeds or transplants. In this case, garlic is one of those things I like a lot. And garlic, this looks a lot like what you would buy in the store and eat. And all you do is take one of them off and plant it in the ground. So a few different options for planting for some of the things that you can plant in your garden. And I'm going to show you guys how you can plant these. A couple things to remember for each one of these, a little bit different. One thing that's the same for all of them though is your spacing. You want to know how much space you have. So we have a 4x4 bed here. You want to know how many plants can I grow in this space without them overcrowding, without them having issues getting big enough or getting enough soil. So whenever you buy seeds in a pack, you want to read the back of your seed packet, because it's going to tell you how big this seed will get. This is a small sunflower seed, and it looks like you could probably put 100 of them in here. But these grow 12 feet tall, and they need to be spaced 12 to 18 inches apart. So you can't put 100 of them in here, or you won't have enough space and they'll overcrowd. So it's really important on the back of your seed packet to make note of how big your plant is going to get, how much space you need between them, and what the light requirements are. Light requirements mean how many hours of sunlight or how much sun this needs. Some things need full sun. That means they need more than 6 hours a day of sunlight. Some things need partial shade, and if you put them in all sun, then they will start to die or dry out and they won't grow as well. So you want to make sure you're paying attention to that with your seeds. Usually same thing with your transplants. They're gonna come with these little tags in them. Make sure you buy one with a tag in it. They're gonna come with the tags in it, and it's gonna tell you things like how long it takes to mature. This says in 60 days it matures. It needs 3 to 12 inches of space, so you wanna make sure you don't put 50 of these in here. They're not gonna have enough space. And you're gonna give yourself, if this is full sun, you're gonna have it full sun. So then you know 60 days from now, this will probably be ready for me to eat once I plant it and keep it watered and give it the right amount of sunlight. Those are the main ingredients you're gonna need for everything. You're gonna need your sunlight. So you wanna make sure when you start your garden, you've looked at what the sun is like all day in that spot. I can't stress this enough. A lot of people want to plant in their backyard, but then there's a gigantic tree casting shade over your backyard all day long. Don't do that. If you have a black walnut tree in your backyard, do not plant in the ground, because black walnut trees don't allow things to grow near them. So you want to make sure you take stock of what's around where you want to start your garden, and then you want to look at how much light you get. And you want to make sure that you have good soil. We can't stress soil enough. You do not want to plant in clay, which is, in the city of Detroit, we have a lot of clay in our yards. So you want to make sure that you get good soil to start with. This is a raised bed because it's not safe to grow in the ground here. So we put a container on top of the ground and fill that up with soil so we can control the type of soil that we have. For most of us, we're gonna need to control the type of soil that we have if you live in the city. So we have some good compost. Sometimes you'll get a compost and topsoil mix, but you wanna make sure it's dark. You can see how rich and dark this soil is, which means there's a lot of good nutrients in here, and it's moist. This isn't super dry soil. If your soil looks like dust and it's kicking up dust when you move it, it's pretty dry, so you're gonna need to water that. So we're gonna go ahead and plant a couple of these so you guys can see some of these going in. We talked about water. That's another major thing. You got your light, you got your soil, you know what types of plant you have and how much space you need. And it's gonna be very, very important that you know where your water is coming from. If you're just gardening in your backyard and you're doing water from the house, great. But watch the water bill because gardens can take up a lot of water. If you're doing a community garden and there is no running water, then you need to think about things like, how are we gonna capture water? Are we gonna transport water, which gets heavy and expensive? I always recommend rain barrels. You can get rain barrels off of a gutter, then you can collect rainwater for free and then put that into your garden. So we'll plant a few of these because G-Max said we got to get the Swiss chard in here, so we're gonna plant some of this chard and some sunflowers in here. This is my trusty hand trowel. If you're a starting gardener, there's a couple tools you gotta have. This is one of them. You're gonna want a hand trowel or a garden knife. Usually I use a mini shovel just because it's small, but you can dig a little bit deeper and make a wider hole than with the hand trowel. Of course, something to dispense your water with. The watering can, bucket works well. The reason we use the watering can is you don't want a full force bucket full of water onto your small plants and seeds, because sometimes that just causes the water to run in another direction. So you want to put the water in slowly. So we're gonna make some little holes. One other important thing that your seed packets will tell you is the depth that you need to plant your seeds, meaning how deep a hole you need to make for your seeds. Most seeds aren't gonna go deeper than your finger. If you have something larger like a bulb, you need a bigger space than that. Transplants, because they've already started to kind of establish their roots and stuff, you can kind of see how far they need to go. So these seeds say 1 inch depth. 1 inch is usually about to that first little bend on your finger. So I can easily just make some 1 inch, little 1 inch holes there. It doesn't have to be scientific, don't make this hard. Our ancestors didn't have special tools for this, they used their fingers. So it's all right to just get in there, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're just gonna put a seed in. Sometimes people put in 2 seeds in a hole just to make sure in case one doesn't germinate. Germinate meaning in case the seed doesn't grow into a plant, in case it doesn't bust out of the seed and turn into a plant. So I put 2 in here. Gonna be some big sunflowers, and they too close together. Tell G-Mac, that's what's happening. Okay, so once your seeds are in, you wanna cover them with loose soil. You wanna make sure you don't have like tight packed soil that's in big hard rocks because it's going to be hard for your plants to break through that. So you always want to make sure that your soil is loose and that your plants and things can move through. And then once we have them covered over, I always like to water them in. Make sure you get a good amount of moisture in there. One important thing about watering is that you want to make sure you water slowly, because if you water too fast, you'll get a big pool of water on the top, and a lot of times it'll just kind of run in a bunch of directions, but it won't go down into the soil where you need it to go. So that's why it's good sometimes to just do a slow water. If you're just planting seeds, I like to concentrate that water right over the hole where I planted the seed. You don't have to soak the whole bed. If you just planted seeds over here, I would concentrate your water to where your seeds are. For transplants like these guys, and these need about, we're gonna do about a foot of space between each one of these. We could do them closer. So cute. One thing to remember with your transplants, they're kind of like little plugs. So we usually massage these to get them to loosen up and come out, because you don't want to break them. You don't want to break the tops off. So usually if you massage them a little bit, you'll feel when they loosen up, so you don't have to tug. If you're tugging really hard, the roots are probably knotted up down here, so you can just kind of take those apart, and then they should slide right out. And so what you're seeing here is these are roots all around the soil. So you can't see the soil outside of here because the roots have grown all around it. So we don't want to leave these roots like this. Okay, so we don't want to leave our roots like this. We want to give it a little massage. I like to roll mine. Some people like to do their massage a little different. But with these, we want to just loosen this up so that the roots know that they can come out of there. And now you can see soil is starting to come through, so the roots are moving around. So when we put them in the ground, they can spread out. You don't want them to be root bound. So then we're going to make a hole large enough for this. We're gonna put our transplant in there and surround it with soil. You don't have to pack it extra tight. You don't want to put soil over your leaves at all. Oh, you don't want to pack it too tight, and you don't want to put soil over your leaves, and then once you put it in, you're gonna water this in, because you want to make sure that those leaves and roots know that now they're at home, they can spread out. The water can welcome them in. The water is also how they get nutrients from your soil. So you want to make sure your soil stays moist so that they can soak up the nutrients from that.
And in the spirit of keeping young people inspired and moving forward and going greater above what they have and what they are at right now, we're going to ask a question. Hey, black child, do you know? And that's Desta and Ashaki going to bring it to you right now.
Hi, my name is Ashaki and my name is Desta. Today we'll be saying a poem by Lassini Perkins. Hey, black child, do you know who you are? Who you really are? You know you can be what you want to be. You can try to be what you can be. Hey, black child, do you know where you are going? Where you are really going? Do you know you can learn what you want to learn if you try to learn what you can learn? Hey, black child, do you know you are strong? I mean really strong. You know you can do what you want to do if you try to do what you can do. Hey, black child, be what you must be. Learn what you must learn. Do what you must do. And tomorrow, your nation will be what you want it to be. Hey, black child by Lassini Perkins.
Peace, mommy. Up.
Peace, Baba.
That's a dope shirt.
Thank you, y'all. I'm checking out these Adinkra symbols.
Yeah.
Looking good. We rock it together.
The whole vibe is like clothes is a thing.
It's a thing.
It's part of how we can really like.
It's how we communicate.
Ourselves,
That's how we communicate what's going on the inside. Yeah. Sometimes you do take the book at its word.
Right.
This is where I'm coming from.
All right.
Where you coming from.
No doubt. You can definitely judge this book by its cover.
No said.
Word up. So in that spirit, y'all, we got a dope fashion show coming up for you.
Looks to let you know exactly where the people who wearing them are coming from.
2 local fashion designers, Kwasi Akwamu of the Shed Detroit and Jazz, Simply Jazz of Creative Minds.
Indeed.
Yo,
making it happen.
Check this out. It's gonna blow your mind.
Dig it.
Word.
Hey everybody, my name is Jasmine Harris. I'm with Creative Minds. a clothing mural graphics company. We do hoodies, we do murals in the city. We do work with youth, with community organizations. And the way to tie in the brand, we do shirts, hats, blazers, and it's basically an incorporation of wearable art, because my main background is an artist, muralist. So with the blazers, I was bringing my artwork into being a more fashionable, something that you could wear to like formal events or art galleries are showing, but still, you know, represent a creative feel. So that's what Creative Minds is, a universal way of showing it from your sketch pad to graphics to books, illustrations, to clothing, also to tiny houses and self-sufficiency. All right, this tea is the Everything Starts in Water tea. It's inspired by Water Tower, and all life and creation starts within water. Alright, this is one of the blazers. You can wear this at a gallery event or just out with your friends at the coffee shop. On the back of it is stitched with the drawing of a female on the back. Alright, this is the hip hop tee. So this was the first t-shirt that Creative Minds ever came up with, because I was like, I don't ever really see women from the early hip hop days represented with the afro puffs, the bangle earrings, the rope chain, and her eyes are two acorns, and the acorns represent the third eye. Around her earrings are brass knuckles. And that represents, it's always a constant fight and battle for things that you hear within this society. And also on the top, you got in the crown of the hat, you got the missile. All right, with this one, the burgundy blazer right here, we get on the Creative Mind on the back of it, this the Power to the People blazer. So it's people represent power, people create hope, people create love. This one is the windbreaker. It's called the protector of nature. Because within nature you have different deities that protects the laws of nature, universal laws. For all y'all people out there that do gardening, protect Mother Earth. All right, this one right here, this one of my favorite ones. This one is the militant Creative Minds. We got the pens, Harriet Tubman, Marcus Garvey. We also got the original first Afro Puff hip hop chick on the back of it. But this the one you come in, you're getting things done in this blazer. All right, this one is nice winter blazer, corduroy style for the winter time. On the back, we got the hip hop guy with the high top fade and the 3 lines. These was the two first, the Afro Puff chick and the guy was the first 2 characters for Creative Minds. All right, this one is my ancestors sent me here to F shit up t-shirt. So in this one, it's inspired by the design on the side is a missile. And the missile is basically, I'm here to drop knowledge, and that's always what disrupts or mess up a society when you are able to think your way through things. All right, this one right here. What's what we got on the back of this one? Okay, that's the hip hop guy right here. The original, one of the original characters. So this one is a more clean cut blazer, so you can kind of wear this one any formal gathering or just out hanging with your friends. And this is the hip hop hoodie with one of the hip hop chick original hoodies. This one kind of made me think of Harlem Globetrotters. The color sequence. All right, and this one again is the Protector of Nature windbreaker. It's real light, airy, go out jogging.
Free the land. Greetings everyone, happy Liberation Day, African Liberation Day to everyone. Glad to be here participating in this fashion show. Get free or die trying is our thing. Over at the Shed at Marsh Park, where I operate a small business and experiment in grassroots entrepreneurialism, we create art, apparel, and provide books to help lead us on our path to liberation. Like some of our great artists of the past, Nina Simone, Fela Kuti, and the African filmmaker Simbeni, you know, art isn't just for art's sake, and creativity isn't just for the sake of creating something out of our wildest imagination. We are oppressed people, and therefore everything has to be created with liberation in mind. And that is what I bring to the stage as we introduce our line on this fashion show. Check it out. If you want to get in touch with the Shed, you can reach us via Instagram at the.shed, that is the.shed, or you can reach us online to browse our store on the Etsy platform, which is the Martz Park Gift Shop, and that's spelled M-A-R-T-Z-P-A-R-K Gift Shop on the Etsy platform. We're going to be bringing some dope styles out here, again, pushing liberation. We got the young people, we got our adults and our elders and activists in our community. We represent for our people, and we're trying to push the culture forward. All right, what we have here is a youth hoodie, Young, Gifted, and Black. That was a quote that was used by James Weldon Johnson back in the early 30s. Used again by one of our artists, Lorraine Hansberry, had a play called Young, Gifted, and Black. Yes, indeed, we celebrate our culture, we celebrate being who we are, and this kid right here is proud to be African. Yes, she is. You see the swag she got with this? She represents. This is the kind of styles that we bring for our culture. You know, we represent history, y'all. You know, we not just doing style for style's sake. We got Robert Mabel Williams graced on these dynamic t-shirts and sweatshirts. You know, we bring the history to the people. You're not going to see a commercial about Robert Mabel Williams during Black History Month, because they were about self-defense, self-respect, and self-determination. Yes, indeed. Robert Mabel Williams. We got our good brother G Mac represent for our premium line of Above Average Detroit. We rocking our Tougher Than Tough Times, you know, premium hoodie. Very artistic indeed. We living in a pandemic, and therefore we very difficult times, and we're rising up. Yes, indeed. We got Detroit Red and Detroit City for this African Liberation Day. Malcolm X created OAAU, pattern after the Organization of African Union. Yes, indeed, Detroit Red. All right, self-love. Ain't no other love. Ain't no greater love than self-love. The love we have for ourselves. Yes, indeed. Our babies, you gotta teach them young to love themselves and appreciate themselves. Yes, indeed, tough and tough times. We got the whole outfit represented by our good brother Best from over at the Nest. Yes, indeed. Tougher than tough times, y'all. We done been through a lot, but we still here. And we gonna persevere. And we gonna rise up and overcome. Yes, we got the Dinky Yum Adinkra symbol here. We represent, like I said, this is not culture. This is just not fashion for fashion's sake. Dinky Yum is a symbol that represents the alligator, you know, which is very adaptable. He lives in water but can breathe on land, you know, rise to the occasion. Right here we got our goal, I am because we are, and because we are, therefore I am. It's a statement of community. We got the Adinkra symbol represented by Funtu Fanifu, Dinky Yum Fanifu. That was our brother Yusef Secure, the host with the most right here for the Mama Kua Community Center. Oh, here we go again. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Self-love. Gotta love the baby. Gotta love the babies. Well, we got the adults. We got them all. We got everybody in the picture. You know, I am because we are. And that's how we gotta view our community. We are a community, and we all exist because of those members in our community, good, bad, or otherwise. We are all one. We rise and fall together. All right, y'all. You know, one thing you can know about the share is self-determination is huge with us. Self-determination is the one thing they robbed us of that we haven't, you know, it can't be no reparation without self-determination, because that's what they took from us first and foremost. Everything else that we suffer comes from a lack of our control of our own lives. Yes, indeed. Like I say, above average, because mediocrity is not an option. We gotta rise up and above. Like the Hughes wrote a poem about it, said life is no crystal stair. We gotta do much more to show what we're capable of in this world. And we do it for ourselves. We compete. You know, we push towards the line of liberation. You know, because we all want to do it. But we cooperate as well. Because that's our style. Self-determination is a lifestyle. Ain't something we talk about, it's something we do together. That's what we rock it, y'all.
Got you, Mama.
Yes, indeed. We keep it coming with the above average line from the shed, located on Detroit's east side. Represent African Liberation Day, indeed, because winning is highly probable. When we talk about liberation, y'all, we think of it in the very optimistic mind state, because we know that anything's possible that we apply ourselves to. So winning is definitely highly probable when that's what you want. Frantz Fanon say, what is willed and called for. We will that into existence, and we pushing hard towards this reality.
Yo, peace. So, you know, we the keepers of the culture. We're gonna bring to y'all right now a very special presentation. This is something to go all the way back to the continent, as ancient as the djembe itself. Stilt walking, Chicago. Check it out.
Are we good?
under the theme of getting free or die trying. I understand that we can't just, we got to house ourselves. We have to be in a place. We have to have ownership of the land. We have to be stewards of the land. So we're going to have two presenters to talk about how we can deal with the shelter. We're going to have Yusuf Buncher Shakur and our sister Nicole Carter talking about how we can gain our ownership in our communities.
Hi there, I'm Nicole A. Carter, realtor, future broker, here in the great city of Detroit, Michigan, where I live, love, work, contribute to the community, and raise my family. I want to talk about the theme, get free or die trying. So as that pertains to real estate, I think what we have to do is we have to become the curators of the existence we want to see and live. And with that, we have to elevate from where we are, no matter if you already own real estate, if you've never thought about owning real estate, or if you don't even know where to begin to own real estate, or you're just starting out, first-time home buyer. I think we have to aggressively attack what our ancestors' dreams are and really focus on promoting the idea that we are able to own property, not just a home, vacant land, commercial property, work together, put a joint venture together and own community property, have an apartment building, anything like that. I think any sort of property we can grab is going to be pertinent to our success overall, individually, and leaving legacy for our families. How do we do that? I think one way we should start is by examining our personal finances. Like, you cannot be an asset to anyone if you can't hold your own self down. And so therefore, I encourage us all to look at what creativity we have, what spirit and ambitions we have, and put it to use for our community, for our family. You know, community starts at home. It starts with you. You have to be whole in order to contribute. And so taking that personal time to take care of yourself so that you can be whole and in the right mind, and then that expounds out to your family, to those in your household. What does that mean? That means looking at yourself through mental health, physical health, financial health, and spiritual health. And when I speak about those things, they're all important in order to handle the next steps, which is your personal finance, your budget. What are you bringing in? How are you bringing it in? Create income. We are very resourceful, creative, able people, and you can find a way to make money, whether it's on the internet, whether it's with your hands. Someone said, if you work with your hands, you'll never go broke. So you can cook, you can braid hair, you can clean, you can make things, any sort of income bringing activity or producing activity. So what we want to do is we want to get familiar with budgeting. Budgeting doesn't mean you're broke. It's not a handicap. It is an organization of finances. I believe that everything functions better when you have structure and you are able to see clearly where things are going. So a budget, and I'll be honest, I'm recently more into personal finance. I'm currently reading Tiffany Alice's book, Get Good with Money. One of the very first books I ever read on real estate was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So those two books are actually right here. You can get them at Source Booksellers in Midtown. I know that they have them, or they will order them for you. But Get Good with Money is great because it breaks down how to budget, how to save, how to prepare yourself for a mortgage. And one other thing I think that we need to do is get a personal banker. Go to your bank where you rest your money and allow them to use it. That means that you employ someone there. They are called your personal banker. We want to go ahead and establish a relationship. You just walk in and say, I need to speak with the banker. You sit down and you say, could you help me figure out the best way to budget my money? Could you help me pull a soft pull of my credit report and analyze that so that I can organize myself to achieve a mortgage? If you do already have ability Great, let's look at that. If you don't, put together a plan with your personal banker and establish a relationship. It is called taking control of the situation and the finances. Some people find that they're too embarrassed or they don't think they know enough about finances. The only thing to ever be embarrassed about is not asking the right questions and not taking the initiative to educate yourself. It is up to you to take the supercomputer that you have in your hand or in your purse and to take that and educate yourself. Go to your library, educate yourself, ask someone, ask your personal banker, call me, NicoleACarter.com. You can email me, NicoleARealtor@gmail.com. Any questions that you have about this. You want to organize yourself, your budget, and your credit so that you can qualify for a mortgage. The next thing you do is you call me and we start looking. And those are the first few steps to home ownership. You can also go down to the land bank and you can say, hey, I live in this house on this street and I want to purchase the lot next door for $100. You can also do other types of deals in financing that don't involve a mortgage, and we can discuss those anytime you want. This is your time. The time is now. Create the life you want. Create the legacy that you will leave, including real estate in it. And you can call me anytime to talk about it. I am happy to discuss this. You need to do it. Get free or die trying.
Coming to you next will be the Al-Kibbutz Warriors martial arts demonstration team, and they will bring to you group and individual exhibits. Pagana, Enam,
Akilan,
Kitari. What stance are you in, class?
Kitari.
What does Kitari mean?
Ready to stand.
Ready to defend who?
Myself, my family, my community, my school.
Pick keep rising. Mar, Host, Megumi, Kati, Ju, Chini. Kati, Ju, Chini. Kimbele, Kushota. Take and Bayle. Off the front leg, take and Bayle, Kumyosha. Off the back leg. Knife I move.
Deal one.
Swallow.
Engine.
Engine. Engine. Abdul. Engine. 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 Step up to Kitari. Pagana. Enam. Kibuzi. Pagana, Enam, Kitari, looking good. Go ahead, African. The Kibbutz in the house. All right, I see it. I like them kicks. Push it. Step up, Kitari. Looking good, African. Keep on moving. Yeah. You get right here. Get right here.
That's what they get ready to do when they give us a break with.
Front snap kick. Tap it twice. Tap it twice and go through it. No, tap it with your kick. Get back.
Oh, that looks like it would be a hard kick there. What kind of kick is that?
Front snap kick. Kick it. Go through it.
You gotta yell when you kick it.
Gotta yell when you kick it. Come on, True. Try it off the back leg. Try it off the back leg.
You gotta yell. Yeah. Come on, keep around.
Yeah. Enough.
First time breaking. Looking good, young man. Looking good.
Step back. See, y'all see what you're breaking with? First punch. First I was gonna do my form. First punch. Hold the bottom swing there. He's breaking with the elbow. Hold the elbow, y'all.
He's breaking with an elbow strike. Never been down before in the village.
Other way. Yes, sir.
Keep along.
German, you can hold your own. You're going to break with your head.
What technique you get ready to do?
Break with his head.
A head throw. A break. Has that ever been down before I did the mother on the part? He's one of our junior black belts. The youngest junior black belt. 12 years old.
Come, Enam.
A head break.
Two boards.
Two boards. Not one, but two. Tell me what you go do. Ooh!
Come. Enam. Give me y'all stand spot. Pagano. Last salute. It's a lot of problems. Enam.
All right.
What up, though? My name is Yusuf Bunchy Shakur. I'm the National Field Marshal, Community Movement Builders. Food, shelter, and clothing relates to our ability to struggle and meet our people where we're at. If we're not meeting our people where we're at in terms of a tangible way, where we at is at the Mama Cool House. Community Movement Builder uses a concept what we call place-based organizing, meaning that we're placing ourselves within the context and the struggle of our people. That is how liberation is. The ability to serve and engage and honor our folks is how we resurrect our ability to feed, clothe, and serve them. If we just trying to give them a bunch of ideas without tangible reality to changing their reality, then we're selling them a dream. And to move them off that dream of oppression to that dream of liberation is to be able to meet their basic needs of food, clothes, and shelter. And the essence of that is self-determination. We don't fight for self-determination because it's the right thing to do, because it's the revolutionary thing to do. Peace.
Y'all ready for some hip hop?
Yeah!
Coming up next, we got a young brother from our community, X, bringing you a special presentation for African Liberation Day.
All right, bring them on down.
Got the heart and strength of a Tupac, the brain and soul of a Marley. I'm in danger in the streets, need the government to guard me, but they're the ones that's hunting me down. How I'm supposed to feel safe when they can jump on me now? These fake blue bloods are everywhere. Black man is surely not meant to keep alive. How else do you explain life expectancy's at 25? Plenty die trying to survive in this America where the minorities left in the sun to fry. But not me, I'm not a slave. I can't be bought or caught. See, you forgot, starting war is costly, can't exhaust me. Flames eternally lit like the Olympic torch of revolution, there's no way you can stop me. Blues and bloods, please put down your scarves and let's let out the purple rose we are. And to those who think I'll die at 25 and I won't live to see after, I'll see you in the 26th chapter. Fall of the slave master, raising the young kings up, leaving beasts in his ass to kill any rapper you bring up. Gotta be moving faster, unity ain't a thing, bruh. Instead of ringing a blaster, why don't we all sing love one? It's one love, you know it, it's one love, right? It's one love, you know it, it's one love, it's one love, you know it, it's one love. That's the only way we'll ever get above. Young king, I ain't nothing but a young king. Nowadays, brothers only chasing after one thing, money. One thing I know, we always stunting, but I'm just trying to keep the peace and stack dumb cream. Yeah, that's what I do. I got the rhythms that be making everybody get to move in their shoe. And you think I'm a fool? That's cool, my dude. Now watch me come through with the hottest lyrics ever since Pac and Biggie was new. Check it. You can sum me with your diamond rings and designer things. Me, I'm living on the finer things. Y'all got minor wings, but I spread mine. It's not a thing. I guess that you can say I'm living on the flyer side of things. You can fly high as well. Everyone got the potential far as I can tell. And for information, here's my dissertation. Be very patient, work hard when you make it. Congratulations, the fall of the slave master, raising the young kings up, leaving beasts in his ass to kill any rapper you bring up. Gotta be moving faster, this unity ain't a thing, bruh. Instead of ringing a blast, why don't we all sing love one? It's one love, you know it, it's one love, it's one love, you know it, it's one love, right? It's one love, you know it, it's one love. That's the only way we'll ever get above. Yo, people see me in the streets and ask me, well, how you living? I'm living lovely, but I'm trying to elevate my position, and chances are never given. You gotta take them, don't waste them. Breaking into the game, intensity on decision, take over it all by force. I learned that nobody else in the world can walk my course. I'm running in the battle, you can't knock me off my horse. I'm pulling lyrics and feelings directly from my source. My divinity pushing my limits to the extremity. These old white glasses, my third eye sees 20/20. All of the dog, I seen it. Dudes with guns looking in my window, I seen it. People trying to rob my dad and kinfolk believe it. Achieving one verse at a time, and you can tell the world that I'm creeping up from behind. God's state of mind, as you can tell, when I'm divine, I'm one of a kind. And also I'm fall of the slave master, raising the young kings up, leaving beasts in his ass to kill any rapper you bring up. Gotta be moving faster, this unity ain't a thing, bruh. Instead of bringing the blast of water, we all sing love one. It's one love, you know it, it's one love, it's one love, you know it, it's one love, right? It's one love, you know it, it's one love. That's the only way we'll ever get above.
Friends, brothers and sisters, now we get ready to come around to a time to bring some words of wisdom to you. Please prepare yourselves for the words of Baba Changalia Mwezi.
All right, African. All right, African.
We usually end with 7 Harambees. We're gonna start with 7 Harambees.
All right, all right.
Harambe!
Harambe!
Harambe! Harambe! Harambe! Harambe! Harambe! Harambe! Harambe means pull together. This was the anniversary of the Liberation Day March for Mario Badella. Used to be is a great march. Every year we're still hanging on to it.
That's right.
It was on TV every year, marching, hundreds of people. Now we thinning out, but we still here.
That's right.
We still here.
That's right.
And my name is Chungali Mwezi. I was named by Dr. Maulana Karinga when I was 15 years old, a year before the 66 Kwanzaa. I studied in Guza Saba a year before he rolled the chalkboard out and wrote Kwanzaa on there and broke it down in syllables. The coming of the first fruit. And here we are, 50 years later, 51 years later.
That's right.
When I came here, ascended from LA, in the brutalness of LA, it was for a partner of mine. His birthday is today, May 15th. Cebu. And he the one introduced me to Balagoon in '69. And me and Balagoon been comrades since Cebu.
Come on, Africa.
You know it, Balagoon.
Yeah.
It's his Cebu's birthday today. If it wasn't for him, I'd never come here. I was a soldier in the struggle in LA in the Black Congress building 73rd and Broadway for over 3 years. I speak Swahili fluently. I don't read English. I was a victim of the LA school system. But because of that, my memory is woo! Because I don't have English in my brain sucking me up. That's why I'm hurt that we don't have many Swahili classes like we used to. Dr. Ben told Yusef Ohana told me on Greenfield City in 1976. If you don't have your own language, you have no cultural identity.
That's right.
Language gives cultural value and mentality.
Jeez.
And if we don't know about Sifai Ote Umtewe Usi, all praise to the black man. If we don't know how to say, Jinlaku Nani, what's your name? Jinlaku Ni, my name is. Or Una Takashakula, I want food. Or Nam, Nina Takashakula, I want food. If we don't know how to conduct conversation like that, then we ain't trying to bring our ancestors to our bosom. We are great heroes and great souls come from many reincarnations. From our African divinity to this here. And believe me, we have to relate to our ancestors and our African divinity. And we have to understand. The sister asked me to come here and speak on a holy subject of eliminating the love of power to create the power of love. Now, we can't beat the American forces with no 9mm and 357s. They got napalm gases, all kind of stuff. But the job is internal. The war is internal. Our salvation is still in the mirror. We were born for greatness. We are the ancestors of the past.
That's right.
So we got to understand that we got to dig into our African divinity enough to create our reality, knowing that we are the kings and queens of this universe. We descended from Mother Africa.
That's right.
And until we look in the mirror and grab a hold of that, we are reincarnating and reincarnating. Our souls are the same souls that built the pyramids. We've been reincarnating. And now we're down to this American culture, in this crap-ass language, in this crap-ass culture, and we lost. We lost. I taught Gaidi Swahili in 1970, everything I know. He went and created the Wayne State Swahili Club in 1973. And Miss Sardine took it over in 76. They got Swahili from me, but I got it from Dr. Karinga. And we got where's the Swahili at now? Language teaches culture, value, and mentality. Without a language, we lost. All praise to the black man. We gonna heal them wounds to understand it. That we are reincarnating souls from Mother Africa. And all our reincarnations add up to our humanness to create humanity. We come to create humanity on this evil planet called Planet Chaos. But we are so humane that we have to understand. Dig deep now, it's hard. There's only one race on this planet, the human race.
That's right.
Racism was created by an evil devil. And we are a victim of it when we get in a racial fight. Everybody get money. We all get psychologically blanked out. We all want to be in power. But we ain't realizing about humanity and the growth of being human and the power of love. If we rise above racism, we will learn that the power of love consists of all race, creeds, and colors. We got to learn how to live, breathe, and oxygen and love everything else that lives off oxygen. But we stuck in this mud fight called racism. And we can't seem to rise above it. So we need the power of love for everything human. And we need to put the right things in our system and the right things that make us grow and be the kings and queens of the university we were meant to be, so we can draw a positive reality. But until we learn about the man in the mirror, and that the war is internal, and the power inside is the greatest power on this planet,
that's right.
Then if we don't understand that, then we're not gonna grow no further, sorry for saying, than Negroes. We still stuck like Chuck, because we ain't learning self-love from our solar plex, connect to this universe. How many of us here study and teach the cosmetic sciences of numerology, astrology, things that get us connected with the sun, the Father, that gives us oxygen? Without oxygen, you ain't doing nothing but dropping dead. What's the most important thing in your life? If you don't say breathing, there's something wrong with you. And that's way for black and white. If you ain't breathing, you ain't in the struggle. Thank God for the sun.
That's right.
We all, whether we know it, whether we call it, whether we believe it, whether we think it, we are children of the sun. You don't think you are? Get the sun back in his air and stop breathing. You won't do that, will you? And I'm tired of seeing the struggle continue on and on and on. And we can't even maintain a Swahili class. It ought to be embarrassing. Here's somebody that don't even read and write. And I ain't met one person speak Swahili more than me. How come? I was raised in an organization of 700 people in LA. Everybody spoke Swahili. This ain't Nisa Mehe, pardon me, was normal. This ain't two-time Nana, Kwaheri Yaku Nana, go in peace until we meet again. Or Sifaoti Mteweusi, all praise due to black man. Or here's some prison rhythm and rhyme. Ula Jafunza Nini, Katika, Mshule, Ki Swahili Kidogo. I said, I went to school and studied Ki Swahili a little. Sounds like a song, don't it? Because African language has rhythm. It ain't like that bullshit English. It's internal, the war is in the mirror. We can't beat this white man in no physical blood war, but we can beat him with love. Because he the devil, and we the gods of the universe. We got to kill it with self-love, of putting heaven inside our body with what we eat and what we do makes us be you. Remember, salvation is internal. It's not external anymore. We did enough burn, baby, burn in the cities in the 60s. All we did was burn down our neighborhoods and live up the programs after that when they created. Like, look at me. 65, August was Burn Baby Burn created. I was out there starting that. The poverty programs came in 66. Y'all arrived with 67. The poverty programs came in 68. Well, I came in 68. I was on both the poverty programs in 66 in LA, and then I was on poverty programs in 66 and 68 in Detroit. I seen both of it. It ain't nothing but pacification to get back on the plantation. And we ain't got off of it, and you won't get off of it without learning another language, because you ain't European and you ain't going to Europe and you ain't come from Europe. Why are you stuck in that language? You better get out. That's what I got to say. The struggle is internal, not external. Two-town Nana, Kwaheri Yaku Nana, go in peace until we meet again, and Sifaoti Mteweusi. All praise due to the black man of my brother Sebu's birthday, May 15th. One love.
One love.
One love.
I don't want to just say and leave. Any questions?
Here you go. When you first came to remember the LA?
I mean, when I was 15 years old, I met Maulana Karenga right after Christmas of 65. The riot was August of 65. I met Maulana Karenga around December 65, a year before the first Kwanzaa, 66. I was his first Simba Wachunga. When I met him, he had 4 people in the back of a bookstore building an organization. I stayed because my uncle was a real estate broker. He was there, got him his first building, 82nd and Broadway, and that's where he remained until the Black Congress building 73rd and Broadway. But I was the first symbol of the first tribe They grew to 400 people. Just assembled. The organization was 700 people. You grew up around 700 people speaking Swahili and sit on that stick. I don't care whether you read or write. When somebody bump into me, I say, Nisa May, hey. When they're saying goodbye, Kutu Taonana, Kwaheri Yakuanana, Habari Gani, Habari Zasi Kwaninge, Habari Zashi Yoni. You know what I'm saying? All that, Habari ain't just Habari Gani. Habari Gani, what's the news? Habari Zasi Kwaninge, what's the news of many days? Habari Zashi Yoni, what's the news of your family? How many of you seen go that deep with Swahili and I ain't never read a real book? I ain't never read a book in my life. And I teach numerology. I teach astrology since '73. I ain't never read a book in my life because I respect my elders. Thank God for the Kabaz and Kahaji and Mama El. They raised me under the light of the sun since '73. And I got teachers that taught me numerology. Well, we got to learn from our elders. The elders break down the knowledge for us. We got to use the knowledge daily. Today is a 7-day day of concentration. That's why we here. The sun creates our realities. We don't. Vibrations. One love.
Coming to you now live and direct from Detroit City's Molly Watt. Strong fist to make a strong impact with a new song called Jenny, y'all. Check it out.
We here to stay. We claiming what's ours. This is melanated over here. Yo, you seem to think that you're the owner. But you're the new kid on the block. Now you're standing at the door.
Night been dope so far, huh?
Smoking hot.
Enjoying it immensely.
Loving it a lot.
We got something special for them.
They not ready. Are they ready?
I don't know.
You think they ready?
We ready.
I'm ready.
Ready
We
or not.
Here it comes.
Come on now, bring
Stick
it on
Man
now.
from Dead Prez is bigger than hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip. It's bigger than hip hop, hip. Hey, we can't do it no better than the one who does it himself. We bring it to y'all, Stick Man, straight from Dead Prez, to give you a presentation.
Being interviewed and talked with by two of Detroit's lovely community members, Brother Kari Frazier, I'm gonna get it together, Brother Kari Frazier and Sister Piper Carter.
All right.
It's about to be hot, y'all.
Dynamic duel.
Peace, y'all. So in the African tradition on getting started with everything, we want to get started by doing libations. And even though this event is going to be presented inside of the package of a larger African Liberation Day celebration, I also just want to take a moment out before we get into this interview to honor those who have come before us and those who are yet to come, because we believe in the tradition of our African ancestry, that we are connected to all of that, those who have come before us and those who are yet to come. And so I want to pour one libation in particular because of the proximity of today's date to what would have been the solar return of our great ancestor, Brother Malcolm X, who's also known as El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, after his pilgrimage to Mecca. For him, we pour one libation and we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. And to all those yet unborn and the great works that they do, again, respecting and honoring those who came before us, but yet those who are yet to live and who will become ancestors. For their work and their energy and their spirit, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
And Ashe. All right. So just really wanted to lay that foundational context. From a spiritual standpoint, everything flows forward from our understanding of the fact that we are not here on our own accord. We came to those who came before us, and as we build upon that, we'll be moving towards some solutions in this protracted struggle. Today is a celebration of African Liberation Day in its 48th year. This is something that came to us back in 1963 and has become before us by us celebration. And it's more than a celebration, it's multi-layered. It's about continuing to understand the need to connect ourselves internationally to the struggle of Africans worldwide, wherever we find ourselves.
So
I think you muted, GMAC.
Yeah, GMAC got muted for a second, but African Liberation Day, as my name's Kari, one of the presenters here, is a heck of a tradition, we know, for the city of Detroit and beyond. But for 48 years to build upon that, connecting so many different families, and it's grown and extended beyond the vision of some of those foundational leaders within that, of like the Paul Taylors and the Mama Sarahs and Marvis Cofield, and now it welcomes in people like GMAC and Yolanda Jack, and Yolanda is kind of the MC, the mistress of ceremonies of this too. So can you speak a little on African Liberation Day, what brought you to the committee, and then we can kind of, keep everything rolling along.
Thank you much, Kari. And I will do that. My connection to the African Liberation Day Committee and the work that African Liberation Day Committee does initially came through my connection at the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. And as a person who works there, involved in programming, that was how I got connected and really understood the significance of what the men and women who have been working in our community, in our city, and throughout, as has been said, throughout the diaspora, is the fact that we have this connection of what has come before, what is currently, and how we intend to feed and have intentionality for the future African liberation. And so I'm going to jump right into the continuation of our program and read our bios. You introduced yourself already a little bit, Kari. I want to say a little bit more about you and the fact that you are the founder of Detroit is Different Podcast Network, and your depth of network of understanding here in the city of Detroit has come from your experience of over 2 years performing as a hip hop artist, hosting cultural celebrations, including Kwanzaa programs since 2007, Juneteenth events since 2008 throughout the city of Detroit, partnerships with the Al-Kibulan Village, Focus Hope, the National Association of Black Lawyers, Community Movement Builders, and Broadside Press, and more and more and more. The continuation and the network that you have grown is significant, Kari, but not to be overshadowed by Sister Piper Carter, who all of us, we live here in the city of Detroit, and we are so proud to have her here as an artist and a cultural organizer, hip-hop activist with focus on entertainment justice, environmental and climate justice, as well as education justice into the makerspace movement, food justice, as well as the communities connected and surrounding them. She is the host of the Piper Carter podcast on Detroit is Different Network, where she discusses social justice and hip hop to a worldwide audience. Co-founder of the We Found Hip Hop movement. There is so many things that we can attribute to Piper in terms of accolades and awards, and we are so proud to be here with Stickman to talk about African liberation. And let me jump right on into his extensive bio. As an ambassador of hip hop and healthy living, Stick speaks, writes, creates, curates, consults, and collaborates on artistic projects and campaigns that fuse the creativity and relatability of hip hop with the vitality and authenticity of healthy lifestyle practices. Cited in Rolling Stone magazine for having created one of hip hop's 100 most important songs, Bigger Than Hip Hop. Recognized by the Humane League as the recipient of their Humane Hero Award, and is also a recipient of the Betty Shabazz Award for Social Justice. The Knoom Stick Ibomu is a well-rounded, well-respected, influential creative. Co-founder and creative director of RGB Fit Club, a holistic lifestyle brand website and movement where he founded with his wife, author and nutritionist Afia Ibomu, and dedicated to inspiring healthy living. Stick is a multi-platinum, multi-hip-hop artist, producer, songwriter, and RRCA certified long-distance running coach, and the co-author of the cult classic book, Eat Plants, Lift Iron, a plant-based weightlifting experiment. A pioneer in hip-hop and healthy living, Stick coined the term Fit Hop for this unique fusion and wrote and produced the world's first ever Fit Hop album series, The Workout and the sequel, Workout 2, with each debuting at #1 in their sales category on all major digital platforms. Stick was born and raised in Tallahassee, Florida, lived in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, New York for over 10 years, and is currently based in Atlanta, GA with his wife and their 2 sons. He enjoys family time in nature, running, meditation, practicing martial arts, beat making, reading, plant keeping, herbal teas, and savory soups. And we are so pleased to welcome this conversation right now. And I'm going to turn it over to our interviewers and our interviewee. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yolanda. And part of some of those celebrations that I was hosting was definitely connected to you, as a lot of those sponsors, you were the person helping me organize a lot of that. So you get knee deep into the things and connecting, which kind of leads to the first question. Stickman, as someone that has music that resonates for so many people of a generation, when we think of what revolutionary music is, and people speak of it, but speaking of it and realizing it is so different. As people champion a lot of the causes of the music that you've made for generations right now. So that kind of is the first question that I have. What role do you think music plays in the struggle for African liberation, and why was it so important for you to include these messages of African liberation in the music?
Right on, Kari. Why is it so important for music? You know, music is you know, it's a part of every part of our culture as African people. You know what I mean? We, you know, it's our language without words. You know, it's the rhythm that we gave the world. We created the instruments. You know, we told our stories. It helped us remember, you know, who we are, where we come from, the wisdom of surviving and thriving. You know, it's been a part of who we are, like, from the beginning. So if we talking about raising the vibration in the community, you know, music is like Captain Obvious to me. You know what I mean? And you know, it's what we see it in our community, how much you know, any office or any position of leadership, you know, people who don't listen to as much as we listen to rappers and singers and, you know, artists and poets and performers. You know, that's who we want to hear from as a community. A lot of times, even when we're not qualified to speak on issues, that's who has the ear. So with that being said, that's just an aspect of our culture that makes being an artist that much more important, that much more, there's that much more responsibility, you know, in doing music as an African person in terms of our community. So I think you can't talk about raising consciousness in the African community around liberation without talking about raising the consciousness in the music.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting when you talk about like the music, because when you talk about like raising the consciousness, for me, your music really allow a person like myself that identifies with the culture, or the culture of you know, African liberation, if you will, Black liberation, you know, really allowed a person like me to have a voice through your voice, right? Like in hip hop, or to see myself in the hip hop, you know, and connect with that. But my question is a bit more as a world traveler. I know when I went to Brazil and stayed with the Quilombo tribe for a few weeks to learn how they're doing African liberation there, to learn some techniques and things. But I'm wondering, as a person who has traveled and been able to see the manifestation of the way people manifest, you know, African liberation across our diaspora, I'm interested in some ways in which you've seen things done, or perhaps inspired by some things you've seen done, that you think here in our wilderness in North America, we could do some practical things that our folks can do to continue to liberate ourselves.
Right on. I've been inspired by a lot of our folk making it do what it do all over, you know. It ain't even got to be international. It could be Oakland, you know. Oakland is a big inspiration. But I'll say one experience that I was blessed to go through. It was in Cuba, right? And I got to meet, let's just say, Auntie OG, right? And those are, I feel like I'm in company of people who know who I'm talking about. And her strength, her joy, after all, you know, everything she has been through and still, you know, dealing with, was powerful. You know, her encouragement, you know, her acknowledgement of what, you know, what we do, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't get no better than that, you know what I mean, in terms of just seeing that resilience, you know what I mean? And I think it speaks to the Cuban people, you know, and where they at with it, as far as allowing her that space to live a free life, or relatively free life, and to be protected, and, you know, just seeing how she explored her spirituality, you know what I mean, and connected them dots with the Spanish, for lack of a better word, the Spanish diaspora, right? But our people, you know, in Cuba, and I don't know, there's a lot of examples I could give about, you know, people executing, you know, liberation, the agenda. But for me, she embodied what it looked like to be liberated, like in your own being, right? You know what I'm saying? And just the way she was in tune with right now, everything going on, but yet spiritually she was in a space of grace. And you know, so I think that's, for our culture, we have to balance that, you know, to be able to be on the front lines in the fight, but at the same time, have that inner peace that we don't become toxic to ourselves. So I think, you know, that's what I would say. Yeah.
So as you talk about that, it kind of goes into this space we're in right now. We're doing this on Zoom. This would have definitely been in person. And this is so different than what African Liberation Day has been historically. But in this space of the digital age, that some may label it, for the lack of a better term, you're still producing. You're producing a lot now. So how do people get in contact? Like, how do people get the books? How do people get the music? What's the best way to connect? And how do you make your decisions about, you know, how to engage digitally, but still be connected enough to, you know, these groups and the people that are like doing this African liberation work in Detroit? You know, how do you work both angles?
I mean, it's just another tool. You know, I think we have a job as human beings, you know, as African people that have a will to thrive and survive, to adapt to contemporary times, adapt to the technology. So even though, you know, we might be old school in our different ways at different times, you know, we have to accept that challenge and be able to work in these spaces. So I look at social media and things like that as, you know, a great soapbox, you know what I mean? A great avenue, a great, what we learned in the movement when we used to hand out leaflets. They used to give us these training guides, and it would be like, find a thoroughfare, right? A thoroughfare in your city. And I remember that was the first time I learned that word. I was like, what is a thoroughfare? You know what I mean? And it's basically where the intersection of a bunch of folks be at, you know what I mean? And when we want to do outreach and we want to connect with people, we have to know where those nexuses are. And so social media is definitely one of those. And so, you know, I feel like it's an opportunity to encourage people to spread information, to inspire, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times we get a lot of negativity. A lot of times we see a lot of tragic shit in front of us, with police killing us, and, you know, on and on and on and on. So I think for me, and what I would encourage people who are, you know, creative and artists and have that calling is to, you know, make use of your platform in a way that like uplifts and encourages people, you know what I mean, to counterbalance some of the negativity we get 24/7.
And with that, where would a person get like the music? How does a person connect with the merchandise? How do they connect to what you're delivering?
Right on, indeed. Let me promo. RBGFitClub.com is our little hub, you know, for everything health and wellness that we do, for the fit hop music, for our books, our herbs, sea moss, you know, the lifestyle. So that's the movement, RBG Fit Club. We're reaching bigger goals and doing a lot of things in the holistic space. So we're on the gram, RBG Fit Club. We're online, RBGFitClub.com. And my personal page on the gram is just STIC.
And I just had one, we'll let you do that drop again, but I just have one more question.
Okay.
So you mentioned before, you know, like our people do have to deal or have had historically and are continuing to deal with so much toxicity, you know, all around. And you have made, like you said, this whole, not just the lifestyle brand, but you created some tools for people to be able to transition into a space where you know, we're able to have some tools to support our healing. And I wanted to know how you could how you were able to do that. Like, what was your evolution of going from lack of a better way to put it, from nigga to God, if you will, like, you know, in the course of, you know, and how that relates, although we may see it, to African liberation, that connection.
Right. Well, my journey is our journey. You know what I mean? Like, it's a microcosm of the macrocosm, right? Everything is. And so for me, it was about a crisis, you know, that led me to self-determination. So like, for my personal journey, like, I woke up, I was living the rap life, street life, blowing it down, getting high, getting drunk 24/7, stressed out, eating bad foods, the regular standard American mixed with rap lifestyle. And I woke up at 21 with gout in my leg, and I couldn't use my leg. You know what I mean? I had what Nas called king disease. So all of that, the bullshit that I was consuming and thinking and stressing with no tools and just, you know, beating your head on the wall to get through it, you know what I mean? Like, just resulted in poor health. But I believe that it was a blessing in disguise, and that the ancestors put that on my path because they knew I was built to respond to it in a way that I was gonna grow. And then that was gonna be part of my service. So it was really a blessing. You know, it was painful, but it taught me about the power of plants, and, you know, how our people had that knowledge, you know, across the world of healing yourself with nature, being in tune with nature, respecting nature, and how our body clocks work, you know, best when we in that rhythm, right? So in that dance, you know, Africans, we are the dancers. So it's about dancing with the universe, dancing with life. So once I seen how good I felt eating better, you know, I started thinking more optimistically, and then I wanted to move more. So I started training more in martial arts and running and yoga, and I saw all this stuff come from us. When it comes to running, Kenya and Ethiopia dominate. When it comes to yoga, that came out of the temples of Egypt. You know, all these solutions that's like in these modern packages now is our culture before we was oppressed. You know what I mean? So, you know, through just healing, it ain't never been a separation, like, you know, like African liberation is over here and this stuff is over there. It's about understanding, like, this is liberation, is living our culture, is being able to practice our strengths, you know, and we'll be fine. You know, we'll be more than fine. We'll be super duper. So, and I know that for sure, because the circumstances I grew up in ain't changed, but the inner environment that I cultivate on a daily has. And so I can respond in much more constructive ways, you know, and that's liberating, right? There's different levels of liberation. But I guess within your inner person, like, that's up to you. You know, that's an inside job. You can have that as you choose it and build it. So, you know, for me, it's been the practice of what ultimately became the 5 principles of RBG Fit Club, and it's like 5 things on the fist: is knowledge, nutrition, exercise, rest, and consistency. You know, once I got the knowledge of holistic, what that means, the different aspects of what makes you healthy and happy, I was able to practice that with more intention. And once I understood that nutrition ain't just what's on your plate, but it's what you think, it's what you watch, what you choose to digest, right? And it's either gonna be toxic or it's gonna be nourishing. So that's a practice that I know is a universal thing that, you know, empowers you if you practice it. Same with exercise, you gotta move to be strong. You gotta move to develop endurance. You gotta be flexible, right? You know, and stay vital, you know, with your activities, or because anything that just sits still is gonna get weak, you know, too long. And you know, rest was about, we go hard, especially in the activist community. Like we give to everybody. We always working. We under a lot of stress on so many levels, and we don't always value rest and self-care and just taking that time to recharge and without feeling guilty and all that. So, you know, I had to learn that the hard way, you know, and still learning that because, you know, it's so much work to do and so much we want to give. But just saying it to say these are principles, knowledge, nutrition, exercise, rest, that keep you consistent, that keep you, you know, you don't always feel like doing the work. You don't always feel like going to train, right? But when you recognize that is necessary and you learn how to enjoy the discipline in a way, you learn how to psych ourselves up for that long distance run, or, you know, whatever, volunteering on Friday or whatever it may be, or working at the garden, and start to see it in a way that makes you happy, makes you grateful. And so for me, that's been my practice. I ain't mastered it or nothing, but I've just been taking notes on what's been working. And then I try to like share that with creative ways, you know what I mean? Till we free.
So with that, that definitely brings us to a close, which before we close, you can just give us one of the new things that you're working on that people will be soon to connect with and get their hands on, so that we can look forward to what you got coming.
Right on, man. I got a few things in the running space that I'm working on. I just partnered with a brand, old school brand called Diodora, and we're gonna be doing a lot of things around running and food and music and mindful living. I got a film that is available now called A Beautiful Run. And it's available at abeautifulrun.com. It's a short fit hop film inspired by being a Black man running in America. You know, Ahmaud Arbery, Muhammad Ali, you know, and so, yeah, that people can check that out at abeautifulrun.com, something that I directed with Lululemon, another fitness brand that I work with. So that's what I got popping. And I got a new book coming out next year on my health journey. So.
What a powerful conversation we've had. This has been beautiful. I mean, the themes that we've seen, from going from the understanding balance and understanding maturity, evolution, how the reality of the global African liberation really is an individual conversation and intentionality for an individual to begin with, but as the individual, what is the old saying? Charity starts at home and spreads abroad. So I'm hearing that's definitely what I was listening to. At least that was what was resonating for me as you spoke, in terms of understanding the maturity and understanding intentionality, going from a place of toxicity, moving through understanding that you had this toxicity and needing to purge it, and finding the ways that it was through our own culture, our own lifestyles that we lived prior to our toxicity, is how we return to our norm and to our power and our strength. So that's a beautiful, beautiful conversation that you've given to us for African Liberation 2021. I don't know if there's anything, Greg, you want to add to that?
Yeah, so just on behalf of the community, the African Liberation Day community here in Detroit, and anybody else who might be out there listening and viewing this, we want to thank you, Brother Stickman, for being you, genuinely being who you are, It's clear when talking with you or even just seeing you through this medium that what you're saying you really mean from your heart. And that's why you have ascended to the spokesman level that you have over the multiple mediums that you've done.
You're on mute.
Seems like folks keep calling me when I'm speaking, but until then, I'm not getting any calls. But nonetheless, I just wanted to give you that thank you. And you all provided the inspiration for this year's theme, Get Free or Die. And so we just want to thank you for that as well.
Yeah, salute, salute.
Word up.
Peace.
Peace, peace.
My name is Bobby Allen. I'm the ALD treasurer for the City of Detroit's African Liberation Day Committee. What we have in our African Liberation Day here in Detroit is we have a scholarship fund. And this scholarship fund is given to the students who write an essay on the yearly topic. This year's topic is Get Free or Die Trying, Liberation Through Education. Now, our scholarship is not related to any religious affiliation. It's not related to any political affiliation. This is completely a community-based donation that we give to our high school students that have been accepted and are going on to institutions of higher learning. That's our way as a community to support them in their future endeavors. Over the years, we've given over, I'd say about $10,000 in scholarships. We try to do both male and female. There's a process they have to go through, write an essay, submit the essay. It is judged and read, and then they get the money. They don't have to pay this money back. Now, as my son was one of the recipients of the scholarship, and I can tell you now that it came in handy for scholarships, going to school, buying books, and buying food, and just taking care of what they need to do to stay out of my pocket.
That's right.
And it worked very well. So we're going to set up a link for you to donate to this scholarship. It's going to be a Cash App or another link that you can link to. I don't have it at this time, but we will provide you with that. So if you want to donate to this scholarship, please do that. We try to keep it African-centered and African liberated, just for the people that like-minded folks. I just say that, just for like-minded folks. But we are very proud of our efforts out here. We're strictly, like I said, we're strictly a community-based organization, and we would definitely appreciate any and all contributions that you can give to us and to our children. We bank at a black bank, First Independence Bank here in Detroit. So once we set that Cash App up, we'll be more than happy to accept any donations you might give. Asante Sana.
This is the 48th year of African Liberation Day being celebrated here.
48 years.
48 is a special number.
At this time, we want to help bless the African Liberation Day Committee and the work that is being done by this organization with an opportunity for you to help bring that liberation beyond 2021 into the future. Help bless this organization with a $48 donation. You don't have $48, that's cool. $4, $8, 48 twice, 96. Want to do it one more time? Add one more. 44, add it one more time. 144 is what it is, right? We're going to bring it together because we need to make sure that we bring our nickels and dimes and dollars together to build this organization up. If we don't put into our community, who's going to do it for us? Nobody. It's up to us. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's up to me to put our money where our mouth is.
That's right.
Put it where it matters. Into the community who is doing for you, for us, what we want to see done in our communities.
Liberation through education. We give out a scholarship every year. 2 graduating seniors will receive support from this organization to continue their education.
My children have received it.
My children are writing their scholarship. They better be having it turned in. Anyway, that's another story.
But we want to make certain that these young people understand that the scholarship is not just the only thing, but we're going to support their scholarship because it's expensive to be a scholar. It's expensive to do the work of culture, and it needs support, not only from the people who are doing it, but from the men and women who support those men and women, those children, those youth, to show them how do we put philosophy and philanthropy in our community. It's not by doing some other thing. It's about doing the thing. Putting those dollars, putting those nickels, and then pulling your sleeves up and getting to the work. So you got one way to do it, you got another way to do it, you got both ways to do it. We're asking you to do one way or the other. Bring it together, that'll even be more blessing.
$48, $4, $8, 48, 96, 144, 288.
Hey.
I mean, you can take it however far you want to. $4,888. You dig? So make it happen however you want to do it. And on the real level, we respect your time, your talent, and your treasure.
Yes.
So if you can't give of your treasure, give us some of your time. Give us some of your talent. This organization needs both in order to grow and to continue to push the idea of liberation for our people here in America. So 48, in the spirit of 48, we're going to ask you to make a donation of $48.
Thank you.
So I just want to remind us that we are all from the same tree, and we might have landed in different shores, but we all from the same roots. And as we hear, I'm calling for us to remember that thriving as a community means that your African immigrants have access to driver license. Thriving as a community means that your African immigrants have access to language access, right? Thriving as a community means also that your African immigrant can have temporary protected status, TPS, right? So when you hear us calling for those things, I'm hoping that we can be one, work together to ensure that our communities have access to education the same way, that we are able to thrive, we are able to open our moms and pop shop, but we also can sit down and say, hey, it's time to defund ICE, it's time to defund the police, and it's time to invest on people that look like me and you. So happy African Liberation Day today. Let us work together and make our dream come true. Because the momentum is right for us, things are shifting. We know we have been on this path for a long time, but we also know that we can achieve together. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
I certainly mentioned Inner City Sub Center and the effort that we put in place to continue the creation and the marching of African Liberation Day. But I don't want to fail to remember the Akiba Line Village, y'all. I don't want to fail to mention Brother Cofield and the Akiba Line Village families who have again opened their doors. Yes, they have opened up their land here for us to have this special event. And so I want to give homage and respect to Brother Barbara Cofield and the Akiba Line Village family, because again, they have been here to keep us keeping on. And I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of it. I don't ever want him to forget, nor none of the rest of us to forget. Because again, the Akiba Line Village has done so much good in the neighborhood, and Brother Cofield and the Akiba Line family, I want to make sure we recognize them and thank them for again opening their doors for this opportunity. All right about it. Oh yes, it does.